Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am speaking with Omietté. He has just released a fantastic new track. It is called Fresh, and I am super excited to talk to him all about it. I want to thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm thrilled to talk about this song. But before we start, where are you? What's going on? How's life?
I'm currently in Los Angeles. The weather is beautiful. Life is good.
Yep, it is officially below 100 here, which I guess is an overall win, even though it's still in the 90s by me. But it could be a lot better. And you've got this new song out. It's called Fresh, as I mentioned before we started recording. It's awesome, man. It's groovy. It's got a wonderful beat. The vocals are great. Like, I can't think of any complaints about it. The first thing I really want to talk about here is what is it about and what inspired it?
So I took a trip to Nigeria April of 2022, and
Nice.
it was kind of a running joke with I have a production team back home in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It was a running joke that I would always walk into the studio like it was a fashion show. And so they said
Okay.
make a song kind of relating to that. And I'm very big into fashion.
Sure.
I model as well. So I
Nice.
just thought, this is kind of a way to express who I am. And it just kind of made sense to be like a debut song for me.
Yeah.
So it's my personality. So that's, kind of how it came about.
Well, that's kind of the best way to make music is write what you know, write what emulates your life. Because I truly feel that like manufacturing stories and making up crap that didn't happen comes through and it just sounds kind of disingenuous in terms of making music. So yeah, why not take a fun thing like that and make it real life?
100%.
When were you in Nigeria?
I was in Nigeria in April of 2022. Yeah. For
Nice.
about
Do you have family there or just vacation or what was that all about?
So I actually was born in Nigeria.
Oh, nice.
I moved to America at 16, and my whole family is here. Well, my whole family being my mom, dad, and my mom, dad, and my siblings.
Hmm.
But I have a ginormous family. They're still
That's
back
awesome.
in Nigeria.
I've interviewed a few people from Nigeria before, and they've really talked up like the blossoming music scene that's going on there right now. Like there's so
Afrobeats,
many artists coming out of there right now. It's amazing.
Afrobeats is gonna take over the world. I see it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, dude. Like because, it gives you sort of like a cultural influence and there's so many world influences of maybe different instrumentation or production techniques and then it comes to the US and it's like, well, we've never heard that before. It's
Yeah.
because this music is coming out now. That's awesome. In terms of the production and process of making this song, how did that look behind the scenes? Like, I guess talk me through the creation of it.
So, well, that's the fun part about being the fun part about collaborating on music is that you get to talk it through. Like
Sure.
when I was younger, I just be in my room, like, like a mad scientist cooking up some stuff. But
Sure.
I got older and I just like discovered the love of working with other people. We came up with a funny idea. You
Yeah.
always showing up like it's a fashion show. And then we started thinking of like, like what could really like express that. And eventually we just came up with like originally it was one guitar that we started with and we just built the drums around that. That was the barest minimum we did. I put my vocals on it.
Yeah.
Then we just kept building on it. We added more guitars, and then those big background vocals you heard
Hmm.
that came about 6 months after. I was already back in America, but I was like, why don't we need something else? And
Yeah.
I felt like that was the missing piece, and I feel like it just put the whole song together.
That's awesome. I feel like very low key, every independent artist is a perfectionist of some sort. It can be like the very base level or it can be the very nitpicky level. But if you hear something 1,000 times, which I'm sure you've heard the song at least that many times,
1,000 times.
you listen, you reflect, and you're like, I think it needs this, or let's add this. And then you know what? It comes to life even more, and that's kind of the beauty of it all. Another thing that I really enjoy about the song is that it clearly pulls from so many different styles and genres, and it's just like it's a little mix of everything. So, what are you calling this? Like, how are you explaining it to people when you say, "Oh, I have this new song out. This is what it is."
So I like that you noticed that because it's Afro beats. So
Sure.
the beautiful thing about Afrobeats is that nobody really sounds like anybody else.
Yes.
Hip hop, I used to do a little bit of hip hop back in the day, and
Yeah.
I'm not, no shade to hip hop, but I
No,
feel
no,
like
no.
a lot of people sound similar in hip hop.
I 100% agree. But I
Yeah,
also feel like, at least from the Afrobeats that I've listened to and experienced, it's a very broad genre. Like
very.
a lot of different sounds and styles and production techniques fall under the umbrella of it. But I think you're 100% right when you say, like, yeah, not everyone sounds the same depending on what you're doing. And I
Because like,
think that's kind of what makes the song stand out the most is like, yes, it is, and you can call it that, but it clearly has a very distinctive style and whatever signature sound you're putting into it, which
yeah,
is so important.
everybody's how do you say, like, so the one of the biggest artists, Burna Boy, he has this term
Mhm.
Afrofusion that he's kind of trying to push right now. I don't really like
Sure,
the term because I feel like Afrobeats itself is Afrofusion already, so making a new term is
sure.
kind of redundant.
Yeah, man, everyone's trying to be different.
Yeah,
I get it.
but
Okay.
it's everybody, like my style, I say it's like a mix of Afro beats, and when I think of Afro beats, I just think of the drums, like that's
Yeah,
really what makes it Afro beats. But then I mix that with like some hip hop and R&B because that's the music I grew up listening to as a kid.
sure.
you know I grew up listening. Lil Wayne was my first artist. I literally, back then,
Awesome.
we had like the we didn't have like cable. Well, we had cable. Yeah, that's what we had.
Yeah,
So I just go in front of the TV, like just listen to Lil Wayne like all day long, and you know
awesome.
I want to rap. Eventually, I was able to mix that with the African culture. So
Yeah, dude, that's amazing, truly. And so obviously you've got the song, and you strike me as a person that's always working on the next thing. Like you're not just a one idea type of person. And you don't need to get too into it, but can listeners expect some sort of experimentation in the near future on any, future singles?
I'll say I don't like to make the same song twice.
There you
So
go.
I have a lot of music. I think I have like a year's worth of music ready to go. I've just
Okay.
been
Wow.
biding my time.
Okay.
I've been biding my time, and each song is different in one way or another.
Sure.
Well, I'm definitely they can expect like, some experimentation.
Okay. That's as perfect of an answer as you can get without, overselling it. So, in terms of actually making the songs though, does it always come from life experience? Like how does the process start for you? Like what I guess like provides the spark to be like, oh, this could be a song.
Sometimes, honestly, I'm driving around and I just see something or I hear something,
Yeah.
and then some random melody might come in my head. Or sometimes I go online and I just go through random beats on YouTube, and I'm
That'll
just
do it
like,
too.
yeah, and I have this thing of like feeling, like getting the feeling out before the words. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so because Afrobeats is more it's more about the what's it called, the feeling, than anything else. So I like to get the feeling out first and just record, mumble over the track or whatever, and then I'm like, oh,
Interesting.
this is nice. And then I typically have like a bunch of ideas of things that I would like to talk about. It's not
Okay.
like based on life experiences. It could be about anything. It could be about like my mom or dad's life experiences or a random person's life experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that you say that though. I feel like an overwhelming majority of music makers always prioritize the lyrics first. And there's no right way or wrong way. Obviously people make music in so many different ways. But I kind of like what you're doing here, truly, because it's like you want to craft a vibe and an atmosphere and a feeling and an emotion.
Mhm.
And then the words will come later and you'll create the story part of it. And I think that's kind of the most important thing because I mean, you and I both know that like a majority of people, they're not listening to the lyrics. Like they just listen to music for the way that it makes them feel. Like they put on music as background and they're not always really listening to what you're saying. So I think it's really nice to prioritize the vibe of the song, and then for the real fans and the people that do appreciate lyrics, they can tap into your story and they kind of see what you're talking about. It's also important.
I
Very
feel like
well-rounded as an artist.
Jay Z said something a while back, and I don't remember word for word what he said, but it was
Mhm.
kind of like, be, because you can rap doesn't mean you can make a good song.
That is true.
Like, yeah, you have the bars, but are you like captivating your audience or your listener?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a more important thing because at the end of the day, if you don't captivate them enough for them to stay to listen to what you have to say, then it's kind of a wash.
That's true. It gets lost in the void. You have to have a compelling story. Again,
100%.
like, everything you listen to on the radio nowadays is lacking substance, but it might be catchy in terms of whatever instrumental they put together. But to really like rise to the top, you kind of have to hit all the marks of telling a story that people care about. And nowadays, it's like, if it's not coming directly from your life or at least a shade of it, people can tell. Like people, have their BS detectors on all day long. And yeah, I mean, I'll tell you how much music I listen to, like it actually matters. So I like that, man. Have you had the opportunity to play any shows? Like, have you gotten out there in a live setting?
So in LA, there's a very because I come from Houston and
Yeah,
it's kind of growing a little bit more. There was not
sure.
a lot of opportunities to just perform,
Yeah,
but being out in LA, so many opportunities.
yeah.
Like I used to go to this one open mic every Wednesday, and
Nice.
we get like a raffle ticket, and if your number gets picked out, you get to go on stage, which was a really
Nice.
creative.
Where at?
It's called something dope for the people out here in LA.
Where is that? I've never heard of it before.
Uh, they're growing. They're not. I won't say they're too new, but they're starting to make their mark out
That's
here.
awesome.
So I go there. I was lucky. Like my number always got picked out
Sure,
of like
sure.
100 people somehow. But I got to perform a lot. I got to test out this song as well as some other songs, and I don't know, like because it's Afrobeats, and I'm in
Yeah.
America. I was worried about the reception, but it was always good. It was always amazing reception.
I understand that. I also think LA is so culturally diverse. Like we have all types of people from literally all over the world here. Like people open themselves up to music that they haven't heard before. And I think it's a lot more well recepted because like yeah, any four guys in a rock band can get up there and, make a song and get an applause, but like I don't know, man, you're actually doing something different that people might attach themselves to, which
I
is
think
really
that's the
nice.
biggest thing. The fact is like they
Yeah,
haven't heard it before. So
exactly. Yeah, and as a concert goer or even just a live music lover, like you're kind of always looking for something different. Like it's like I'm saying, like you can always go see a rock band, like there's no shortage of that. But at the same time, like the more shows you see, the more you kind of want to be wowed by something you haven't seen before or experienced. So,
100%.
and that's where you come in. So there you go, man. Um, well, we are like right at the end of October, which is crazy to think that we are like at the end of this year, which is wild. Normally, I would ask like, what is the rest of your year looking like? But let's fast forward a month or two into the new year. What's going on in your life? What can people expect? Do you have anything, solidly in the works?
Um, I'm just gonna say they're gonna be overwhelmed with the amount of music that's gonna come out from now
Okay.
to then. I'm hoping to release a good amount. I don't want to put a number on it, but a
No, no,
good
no. Yeah, don't need to do that.
yeah, a good amount of songs.
Okay, cool. And I hope you get out there in a live setting too, because this music is perfect to dance to or just hang in the back and, just kind of take it all in. And I hope you do that. Um, I have a couple more questions for you. I want to know, obviously this year has been packed with amazing new music. Is there
Mhm.
anyone that you've discovered this year in terms of, independent artists or just anybody that has sort of influenced your sound or that you've enjoyed listening to?
Give me a second to think.
Yeah, take your time because I know we're always absorbing new things all the time.
Hmm. I'll say it more in Afrobeats than anything else
Yeah,
because a lot of new artists came out and they did their thing. Like they drop one song and before you know it, they're globally known. So there's this one artist. His name is Odumodu Black, and
okay.
he's a rapper basically. Like he's Afrobeats, but he's more of a rapper than
Sure.
yeah. And he I just I feel like I just like seeing trajectories like that. Like he came out and he applied the pressure. The music was good. He
Sweet.
didn't get his foot up off the the gas pedal. So
Yeah.
the people for sure.
Cool. Well, I've never heard of him, but I'll check him out, and I would urge everyone to check you out first, but to check that out too, to maybe get a different perspective. Omietté, I have one more question. And basically the question is for you is like for the person that is going to discover you from this interview, what is an opening message that you'd like to say to them before they listen to your song for the first time?
Huh. I'd say everything starts with confidence. Like if you're confident in yourself, you can accomplish anything, and that's kind of one of the biggest messages I like to put in my music. I'll say like my confidence comes off as cocky sometimes, but I feel like you kind of need that because just believing yourself all the way through, and no matter what you do, I feel like at some point it's gonna, work out.
It's about as good as it gets right there. You've convinced me. If I wasn't already going to listen, then I would listen to your music
Awesome.
because of that answer. Hey, listen, I want to thank you so much, but I also want to plug your music for you one more time here. So, if you guys didn't catch it the first time around, the artist is Omietté. The song is called Fresh. And of course, we'll have the links in our articles that you can listen and share and follow along. And obviously, stay tuned for what's only going to be a massive 2024. I'm excited because I really like your music and I'm excited to hear more. But again, I also urge everyone to check it out and everything else you've ever made. So thank you for your time. This has been a great conversation.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. All right. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Try to stay cool out there and let's talk soon.
Definitely.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.